Hi, so actually moored up at Hillmorton at the moment. I did set off with great intentions from Braunston, as you saw in the last video. And my intentions, as I've mentioned before, were to head north up towards the Macclesfield Canal and the Peak Forest Canal. But unfortunately, there's been a huge landslip at Brinklow, which is between Rugby and Hawkesbury Junction. And the navigation is completely closed. CRT are up there, or the contractors are, and they're doing their best, but it could be another few weeks before the navigation is properly open. So it's just a question of killing time. I enjoyed my little cruise up from Braunston. You'll see that in a moment. They did put a provisional date of opening the navigation of the 8th of April, but whether that's going to be a final date and an absolute date, I really don't know. I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that they do and I can get underway. This is probably not the best map in the world, but my plan is I'm here at the moment at Hillmorton, just before the locks here, visitor moorings, and then when I leave here I'll continue along the North Oxford Canal past Rugby up towards Hawkesbury Junction, where I'll turn on to the Coventry Canal, follow the Coventry Canal all the way up until I get to Fradley Junction. And at Fradley Junction I'll then turn to the left onto the Trent and Mersey and follow the Trent and Mersey all the way up to Stoke-on-Trent, and then once I get just beyond Stoke-on-Trent towards the Harecastle Tunnel, or Scarecastle as a lot of people tend to refer to it as these days, I then turn off onto the Macclesfield Canal, and I intend to go all the way up the Macclesfield and then here onto the Peak Forest Canal. So that's my plan. Hopefully it'll all go well. I'm going to take it nice and easy and just enjoy the cruise and discovering the places along the canal system and the history as well. Really looking forward to it. So as I said, I left Braunston and made my way slowly back up the North Oxford Canal. It was really quite pleasant. So when I left, the weather was really pleasant, as you can see. Nice blue sky, not that much in the way of clouds, so it was really a pleasant trip. Beautiful countryside and scenery. Love this old tree. It was really good to see quite a bit of bird life as well on the sides of the canals I passed by. It was also the time of the year when the ducks are chasing the females, and they're chasing one another off. Survival of the fittest, the strongest. There certainly were a lot of ducks in the canal. Beautiful. So the sunshine and blue skies didn't last for too long, and the following day it was really overcast and drizzly, but still pleasant. Not too cold, which was the main thing. Some beautiful property on the side of the canal. Expensive, no doubt, though. So I'm doing not too badly. I'm about a quarter of a mile from Dunchurch Pools Marina, where I'm going to pull in for some diesel. I think I've got about half a tank or so, but it's always best to keep it reasonably well topped up. So that's my next stop. So I decided to pull into Dunchurch Pools Marina to get some diesel, but by the time I reached there the wind had really picked up and it was really quite difficult getting in and moored up on the service point, but eventually I managed it, topped up with diesel and water, so all was good in the end. Wind's picked up quite a bit though now, blowing me all over the place. At least I've got a full tank of diesel, full tank of water. It's clouding up a bit again though, so rain's expected once again this afternoon. So I've done actually really well, because it was raining all night, raining up until I left this morning, and it hasn't rained since I set off. So yeah, I've been pretty lucky really. I'm just coming up under the M45 motorway. It's actually quite quiet when you're underneath. Yeah, so it's a bit on the chilly side this morning, but they do say it's going to warm up. It's going to get up to about 10 or 11 degrees, so fingers crossed. Typical weather forecast. They said today was going to be dry until mid to late afternoon. Of course, as soon as I leave to set off, it starts to rain. Seems to be the story of my life lately. You can see that it's still quite chilly though, you can see my breath. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's only drizzling a little bit, so hopefully I won't get too wet. Making my way up to Hillmorton and the visitor moorings there. Overcast day. Bridge 76. Walked along this towpath many times. I'm just coming up to Bridge 75, and it looks like it's not going to be that long before the CRT are going to have to come down and do a little bit of work on it. It's a huge great crack. You can probably make out on the left hand side there. In fact, looking at it, there's cracks appearing in quite a lot of places. So just coming up to Hillmorton Wharf. We've been doing a lot of work here as far as the buildings are concerned, so maybe they're improving the facilities. Still looks a little bit the worse for wear. But this is where I came through last summer and saw the boat that was sunk in the middle of the canal here. So the Waterside pub and carvery, quite a popular spot, lovely old building. Lovely in the summer with the outside seating. So yeah, it did warm up as the afternoon progressed, and eventually I made my way up to Hillmorton Visitor Moorings where I moored up, and then took a nice walk along the canal towpath. Really enjoyed it. Could definitely see the way all the water and the rain we've had lately have made an effect on the canal though, and almost flooding the towpath in places. So I've been walking for, I don't know, about an hour. It's been a good walk actually. So this is looking down onto the Hillmorton Visitor Moorings from the bridge over Moores Road, Moores Lane. You can see how muddy it was. In fact, there's parts of it that were literally 6 inches deep in water, if not more. Towpath paths are still really muddy and somewhat waterlogged, as you can see. Well, I'm still here at Hillmorton Visitor Moorings. In fact, tomorrow's my last official day here, so I'm going to be moving on. I've been really waiting to see if I can hear anything about problems at Brinklow, but I've received a couple of emails from the CRT, both of which say they're still looking at the 8th of April, but I've spoken to one or two other boaters and they tell me that there's probably little chance of that happening. So I actually phoned the CRT yesterday and spoke to a young lady there, and for obvious reasons she wasn't going to tell me no, it's not going to be open directly, but if I read between the lines of what she was actually saying, yeah, I think it's going to take longer than the 8th of April before the Brinklow stoppage is reopened again. Apparently they're doing quite well, but it's just a lot more work than they initially anticipated. So yeah, it's a shame. So not wanting to just hang around and whatever, I want to get moving. I'm getting itchy tiller, I think they call it that, don't they? So looking at the maps, I thought, well, okay, instead of going up the Coventry and then Trent and Mersey up towards Macclesfield, what I could do is just I'll go through the locks at Hillmorton, fill up with water and etc., use the winding point, which is not too far down, and then turn and come back, and then make my way down towards Braunston again, but this time turn onto the effectively what is the Grand Union stroke Oxford Canal, and follow that along towards Napton Junction, and then eventually by continuing on the Grand Union it would take me up towards Birmingham, and then I could skirt Birmingham and maybe go up to the Welsh canals, Llangollen, etc. So I thought, that's another good plan, so I could do that. So I made a few notes and that sort of thing. But when I was looking at the maps yesterday, suddenly dawned on me that in fact what I could do is I could go back down towards Braunston, turn onto the Grand Union Oxford Canal up to Napton Junction again, and go up towards Birmingham, but then I could actually sort of cut across and then pick up the Birmingham and Fazeley Canal, which will take me up. Eventually I could get up towards Stoke-on-Trent, and then from there I could actually continue on up to the Macclesfield and Peak Forest canals, as I intended to do anyway. So yes, it will be a longer cruise, but there's no rush. So yeah, that's certainly a possibility. So what I've decided to do is tomorrow I'm going to set off, go through the locks, I'll then be filling up with water, make my way down to the winding hole, and then turn around, make my way back down towards Braunston, and then when I get towards, you know, Knapton and then on towards Birmingham, I can then decide whether I want to go one way and go up towards the Welsh canals and Llangollen, or I want to go the other way and then go back on my original plan up to the Macclesfield and Peak Forest Canal. So that's now the plan. So yeah, I'm going to leave the this vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed the little cruise I did. It wasn't a long one, but you know, it's something. Tomorrow's supposed to be quite a nice day, so fingers crossed and I can get underway. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.